2026, and we're in the neutral zone. Welcome to the show. Well, hello everyone. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host here at the Neutral Zone. Maui, neutralzone.com. That's the best place to watch all these shows because we have a full transcript and a summary of all our shows, and we're about 600 shows. And we're the voice of Maui because we're at 88.5 FM, KAKU, the voice of Maui, housed in Akaku Maui Community Media at 333 Dairy Road, where we're simulcast at this time. But you'll see it without all the tech there that says, oh, go to this website, go to that website. But that's why I go to MauiNeutralZone.com. Welcome to our show. Some of you have a visual, and you see we have a guest in the studio. And those of you that know her say, yes, I know her. That's P.Denise LaCosta. She's running for mayor. And she lets you know because she's got a shirt on saying the same thing. We'll get to her in a second. I just want to be sure we're oriented right. Everyone that's out there, we do our shows on Monday at 11 a.m., but we found historically that people Monday at 11 a.m. are pretty busy. Even though we're a call-in talk show, we rarely get calls. But if you want to call, you're welcome to 808-873-3435. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen right now. And if you're on radio, 808-873-3435. Again, rarely do we get calls, but that's because people check us out afterwards and we get all kinds of responses. First of all, and most importantly, thank you. What's the best thing to call you besides mayor? I know you'd rather have me just skip all the formalities.
Absolutely.
Do you call yourself Denise? What's the best way?
So my name is actually P.Denise, and the P stands for nothing. My parents did it. Has been the bane of my existence, and it's like Harry S. Truman. His S stands for nothing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See what you learned today.
Wow, I see, and I thought it was something like, Patricia, but everyone was Patricia. So you said, no, I'm going to take another name.
Nope.
That was part of their plan to make you a unique. See that? And
I think so.
What makes you unique? I mean, obviously, we are at the end of, one would hope, the first term of our present mayor, Richard Bisson, and we have 7 people that have pulled, but you were early. You had a real plan, because I saw in January you were already out there, and I know a couple of people that know you, and they were already just whispering pretty loudly your name. I have things, but my eyes don't see as well as just what's a general background? You've been in real estate here a long time and involved in the county government in all kinds of ways. Give us a little snapshot.
Thank you, Jason. First of all, may the 4th be with you for all of you Star Wars fans. I would be remiss if I did not say that. So I have been on Maui for 36 years, but prior to that, I was born and raised in Washington State. Have a degree in business, a minor in finance and English from Central Washington University and Tacoma Community College. Let's see what else. I used to work for Lawrence Welk, for all of those who know who he is, and I was transferred here and ran his timeshare project. And when it sold out, I just stayed here, and they wanted me to go back to the mainland, and I said, aloha. So, no, thank you very much.
I have a story like that myself. It's 33 or 34 years ago. Yeah. Mine, when I didn't get transferred, that would have been... but also, I've been here a long time. So, Welcome. I remember when Lawrence Welk Timeshare was down there in Kihei. Yep. And I was wondering, well, Lawrence Welk owned timeshare. You see that? Yep. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about timeshare, maybe we should jump in right in the deep end of the pool as we begin, because there are probably many things that are important that you're going to mention as things that you think we could have improvements. But when I think about timeshare and the tourist industry, and I think about housing, and I think about the local people, and this big thing that's been going for 25 years of not enough local housing, and the council pushing it back, and the state pushing it back, pushing it back. Next to the post office in Lahaina, we saw that land for a zillion years, and then suddenly they built it. Not exactly what I would have built as a plan, but meanwhile, we're still short a lot. We've got all kinds of issues. Let me just say the word housing and let you take it to where you want to go.
Thank you very much, Jason. So housing is the second pillar of my platform. Our local families need housing, and not only to be renters, but also to be homeowners. If you folks have been on my website, sorry.
It's okay.
If you have been on my
Batman.
website, then you have seen my Homes Together plan. That is a plan where I help local families, first-time home buyers, with down payment assistance. Hang on a second. Sorry. Beg
That's
your
all
pardon.
right.
Okay.
See, what that is someone's calling and we're just shutting them down.
Yeah.
She just said was, we don't want to distract from what you said. On your website, you have plans to help first-time home buyers, conventional plans that we might see, or especially...
No, they actually are specifically designed for first-time homebuyers through my Homes Together plan. So we'll take one step back. Bill 9, which was put into law under Ordinance 5909.
Bill 9, for those of you that don't know it by that name, you might know it as the Minatoya List conversions, or you might say it's the short-term, long-term issue with a number of condominiums.
Correct.
Okay? So,
Thank you.
just because I just want to be sure we're on the same page. Bill 9 was a controversial measure that was passed by the council and ratified by the mayor, and take it away.
Thank you. Actually, the mayor authored the bill.
He authored the bill.
Yes, he said, I want this done to phase out short-term rentals on the Minatoya list, which are most of the rentals that are A1 and A2 zoned on the Gold Coast. So from everywhere from Kapalua down to Wailea. So there are many, many condos that are on there that he wants to phase out and convert them to long-term rentals. So that plan, Bill 9, will be repealed immediately when I'm elected. The funds that are used for the property taxes and the UHERO report, if you haven't heard of that, the University of Hawaii did a research document in 2022 about phasing out short-term rentals because that's the first time that the leaves were rustling about it. What it will create is 1,900 jobs lost, $65 million in property taxes lost, and $900 million in visitor spending lost. And that's UHERO report. Those aren't numbers that I just pulled out of the sky.
Okay, so UHERO was a University of Hawaii funded thing after the fire, and it took a larger complexion. And it basically, what she just said, it says, oops, and that we are in challenge here, and we need to make some change. Like if we hear about this Bill 9, are they the ones that tell you about the Bill 9 and what's going to be lost? All those jobs and all that money. See,
Correct.
That's not her saying it. So to me, that means that the original proposal by the mayor might have been not looking at certain key factors. That's what you're saying. Could a repeal of that bill just stop it cold?
There will be some steps, but certainly first it has to be the lawsuits that are filed, and there are 4 right now, and there probably will be many more for the short-term rental owners. Those will need to be negotiated. If we get rid of the bill, if we get rid of the bill, then we won't have those lawsuits. The council will need to. Number 2, the council can write a bill to repeal it, and if it's 5-4, then it will go away that way. Or there is an injunction that can be filed.
I see.
And so there are 3 ways to get rid of Bill 9. So the UHERO report was available to Mr. Bisson when he made the disastrous, and that's what it is, plan, and had it move forward through the council. So.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm just, what you see me fidgeting is I want to make sure you have enough volume.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't speak
No, that's all
very
right.
loud.
So I just wanted to be sure. So housing, so the Bill 9 and the repeal of Bill 9 is up there on your list. What about for those that aren't renters and they're not potential owners? They're more like hope to be renters, that have been navigating the streets of Maui. In fact, sadly, I know too many people that are homeless. Some of them are full working homeless, and others have gone steps, I don't want to say down, but down into where just the basics of life take full time. That's their full-time job, trying to figure out what to do to deal with kids or deal with animals or deal with themselves, and nowhere, no money, no debt. What, do you have any kind of roots toward addressing homelessness in some way?
Yes, thank you. So there is an organization called Aloha Ranch that I happen to be on the board of, but it is a nonprofit and it is specifically for helping homeless. What will happen, and I will recuse myself, will be off the board when I'm mayor, so that there aren't any conflicts and no perception of me doing anything wrong, is that there will be communities, that there will have tiny homes. There will be a specific center building that will have a healthcare office, washing machines, a dining area. It'll be like a little village, and it will be fenced so that they will be safe in there. Instead of having somebody decide that, oh, we should find safe parking lots for them so they can sleep in their car and be safe. Well, I've met 4 people in the last 2 weeks that are living in their vehicles, that have children, that cannot find help anywhere. Catholic Charities is out of money. Maui Life Center is helping as many folks as it can. And it breaks my heart because they should not have to live in their cars. So
those are the fortunate ones that live in their cars.
That's true.
I'm sadly in touch with people that have a broken down car, they don't have any registration, or they don't have a car now and they're carrying bags with them and losing everything they own almost every night.
Yep.
It's a sad state on the streets.
Correct. And Aloha Ranch went to the county council and proposed this little village, and they were told to go away.
Well, I used to call that experimental housing, cluster housing. I had all kinds of names. For years, I'm also another bold guy who decided to run for mayor.
I remember
94. That was long ago. But I've been involved because some of the things are obvious. We are in an emergency. If I were mayor, first thing I do is declare emergency. And I do something before we get to approving of anything by anybody. And anybody that says go away, that's council, is missing the point. Mm-hmm. Aren't they supposed to be? Is there someone that should be helping you put that before them? Like the Department of Housing and Human Concerns or the planning people? I mean, there should be.
Yeah.
Right?
We were invited, Miss Nussbaum was invited to go speak with the council about her proposition.
I see.
And literally after a few moments, they said that we're not interested, go away, in so many words.
Right.
And so she took the idea and has been taking this on herself, helping the folks who are hurt by the fire, giving them absolute everything from knives and forks to bedding to clothing and to toys for children. She's taking this out of her own foundation to be able to help people.
How do they get money? Contributions?
Contributions, yep.
I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the housing emergency, it truly is an emergency. And when people talk about affordable housing, it's just, all I hear is this blah, 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 blah. It is not a one-dimensional picture of these pretty little houses that this is what we're going to build. That is not what affordable housing is.
How'd you like to spend $3,000 for one of those tubular oddball things there in Lahaina?
Yeah.
Those people have to pay for those accommodations now.
Correct.
And things are crazy. I'm not sure who's running what. Maybe you'll figure it out. Tell us.
Yeah, I have started to figure it out. So the Department of Hawaiian Homelands will be getting a lot of that housing. That was part of the agreement, that when they are vacated, then they will go to DHHL.
So those areas will become local, affordable housing
for
terrain?
For Hawaiians.
For Hawaiians.
Yeah, that is phase 2 of DHHL's project that is behind Lealee, that is behind the post office. So the phase one was built probably 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember exactly. But phase two was on the left-hand side, up behind the post office. 600-ish acres, never was finished.
I see.
Yeah. So those houses, the agreement, as I understand it, is that DHHL will get all of those homes when they
And the
move out.
money for the infrastructure comes from where?
That is a very good question.
I'm always asking those kind of
that's
fun
a good,
questions.
Yeah, that's a good question
Because
because
that has to come before you build anything on it. That's
absolutely
big money.
Absolutely. But those homes are already there. So what will happen with DHHL? They do have an infrastructure segment to their construction, so that is built in. But there is a lot of infrastructure that is needed other places as well. Yep.
Remember, this is 26. 23 was the fire, so that's 3 years of displacement, 3 years of Maui's economy being upside down and tipsy-turvy, toppy, uppy down. 3 years? How long has Rick Bisson been? 3 years?
3 years.
So he jumped in and hit the fire and then the floods. Wow, what a thing. And if you gave him a rating, what other areas, maybe that's only one. I don't want to take too much time. I want to give you a platform to pick on things that you would like to bring out, part of your platform. And I imagine also reflect on your the present mayor and what he has or has not done. So,
Okay. My biggest disappointment is that Mayor Bisson was missing during the fire. No one knew where he was. He was not where he said he was, and this is factual. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, he said, "The road to Lahaina is open and everything is fine," as I stood and watched my town go up in flames. So I am incredibly disappointed by the untruthfulness, by not being where he should be, not giving the support to the folks who live here. I mean, that's his job. The mayor's job is to take care of everyone, regardless of color or national origin or religion. That isn't happening. It's not happening at all. And I've lived here 36 years, and for the first time I have felt like I don't belong in certain places, and I never felt that way before he was mayor. There's a huge division that he has created, and
I'm
it's
sorry
just
you feel that way.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have been active in the community all of those years. I was with Women Helping Women, the West Maui Task Force, the Community Task Force, Lahaina Luna, Project Grad. I mean, I've just done a lot of things for the community, because if you live in a place, you should help a place. And that's how I feel, and that's how I live my life.
I see that. Well, you were also, I know, part of the Maui Planning Commission.
Correct.
I heard a couple of people say, well, she was in the Planning Commission. They approved all these luxury projects and didn't think about local people. Before I even give you a spot, I imagine on the Planning Commission, you don't create projects, you review what comes before you. Isn't that right?
That is
so
correct.
If there are no affordable projects coming before you, you don't have input. You're not approving affordable projects because there are no affordable projects coming through. Would that be a fair beginning? Because I hear Planning Commission and people whacking, or verbally, you, because you were in the Planning Commission when luxury developments got developed. And I thought, well, that's sort of not fair. Well, now you go.
That you're exactly correct. That is not fair. The Planning Commission reviews documents and all of the plans and projects that are sent down by the Planning Department. So that's where it starts, and then it filters down to the Planning Commission, both SMA, Special Management Area, and large projects and anything else that falls outside the parameters of what the Planning Department can approve in-house. So when they talk about luxury projects, let's just talk about Wailea 670. It's been 35 years that's been trying to be built. It went from 1,400 affordable homes now down to 1,105. And it has been scaled down and changed so that it would appease and fulfill a housing requirement. And it's still being kicked around the block. So That's when we did approve when I was on Planning Commission, when the Maui Coast Hotel wanted to build their second section.
Yeah.
I voted no. And I said, where is our housing? Where's the housing for folks who live here? Do we really need more hotels? No, we do not. We need housing. And, I was one of 9, and of course it passed. And it was nothing against the unions or anything else. It was, we need homes. And that was 5 years ago. So they can't be blamed for a lot of things. I think that in some cases, not everyone does their homework. I've noticed that lately.
Yeah. We saw who voted for president. A lot of those people didn't do their homework. That guy was in jail. He wasn't in jail. How many times they convict him? If we can blow it as a country, that's very possible. It trickles down.
Well, and while we're talking about that, I want to make something really, really clear. I am not of the Republican Party. I am not of the Democratic Party. I am of the Maui Party. My concern comes from my heart, and it is Maui that is centric to everything that I do and say. I don't care what happens nationally because I can't change it from here, but I can change almost everything that happens in Maui. And that's where my focus is, and that's where I'm moving forward.
Well, I talk about those other guys, but I'm also very Maui focused and have been for the whole time I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting over all this time that I've been here. When I first got here, I thought, great, we're in a place that has so many needs. They're so obvious, and it's just such a perfect time. They're going to be able to be an example to the whole world of what you can do. And then I ran into things that thing you learned in physics. Things that are staying at rest tend to stay at rest. And things in motion so they wanted me to keep moving. They did not want me to stay here and pick on things, because a lot of the things that we run against, why is there none of this, why is there that, have big influences. What's your hit on all that? I mean, I'm here locally. Have you had big influences approach you in any ways that feel...
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about for the mayor race?
I'm just saying, I mean, when I spoke to Joe Suki was Speaker of the House. Until I spoke to him, I didn't get local people to come on my show because they were afraid that I would come with a sword and slice and dice them when they came on my show, which isn't my style.
It's not.
No, but when people that Joe Suki and people like talk about, in very general terms, about things that are here, they're not set in stone, but we understand that influences are greater than, like we've had that issue happen. We heard about it in the, what was he? The chief prosecutor? He wasn't the chief prosecutor. It was just some kind of attorney, that there was a whole thing about Moana Ludi taking over a job. And remember all that?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of stuff going on in appointments. Why did Tasha Kama suddenly vote these different ways? Was suddenly she being groomed? You hear all these kinds of stories. And what really gets me is, I've lived here long enough to have heard the stories from people that have seen it with their own eyeballs. In fact, again, we have a former mayor who was there that used to be taking money regularly, at least according to this guy that was there, who also took money regularly, who ended up going to prison. See?
Sadly.
So there are only so high up that things go, and then you go past that and your family is affected, you know, kind of stuff like that. So there's a lot of reasons that things don't change, and I bring it up only because we the people can make change and make our voices heard. It was very sad when you probably remember the non-GMO movement, which was a giant thing that the people came out and voted that they didn't want the GMO thing, and it was ruled that wait, you can't make decisions locally. That someone else above has made a decision. Sorry, that decision you guys made is out the window. Things here that we can't turn around that you can put in place, I hope, as mayor?
I certainly plan to. The quote that I heard in college, my very first class in college, it was, The 7 words of a dying corporation are, but we've always done it that way. And that really stuck with me because you don't have to always do something the same way. I think that we have some really great people who work at the county, and I've met a lot of them, and I know they're hard workers. But I think that they are constrained. I think they may be concerned about stepping outside that box if they have a great idea because it won't be welcomed. That's what I've heard from some folks. So they just toe the line and don't say anything and show up at 7:45 and leave at 4:45 and just do their work. I think if they're encouraged to help everyone think outside the box, improve the way things are done, because if you do a job, you know exactly what the shortfalls are and what can make it better. So I plan to sit down with each of the departments and say, okay, how would you improve this? What would you change? Because they're the ones who know. I don't know. But I did turn a company around from bankruptcy to be sold for $100 million a little more than 2 years later. So I know how to get things done, and I know how to work with people and bring the best out of people.
From 0 to 100 million. Ice cream company? Was it Baskin Robbins?
No. It wasn't that much fun. No, it was an industrial parts company in Tacoma, Washington, and they're not even, I looked them up the other day and they aren't even on the web anywhere. Colgate was the name of them. And they ran across me and said, do you fix companies? And I said, I fix lots of things.
Excellent.
So they hired me, and 2 years later they sold for $100 million.
Wow.
So I get stuff done.
That does sound like a mayor that's, on the spot, on the job. What other areas are important to you that you want to communicate? I just want to be able to, you have a lot of stuff that you've created in writing that really says it in great detail. So any of you, what's your website address for the people on radio?
MayorLaCosta2026.com.
Mayor, you know how to spell that one. LaCosta, LaCosta, 2026.com.
Correct.
Mayor. That's I didn't know about the P.Denise. I thought your first name might have been Mayor.
It is now.
That would be really convenient. Now it is. Well done. So please look up at the website because, when we're talking, other things that really are important issues for you. Consider, when people go to my website, there's a search engine there. So if you say, what's important to me, affordable housing. If you put affordable housing in the search engine, every time someone said affordable housing, in any of the 600 shows, it comes up. So you kind of find out what's on the mind of people or what's been talked about. And that's what I'm continuing to do. We're building a vocal platform for people to kind of check in and be part of the story. So I'm bringing it up on purpose in our conversation so that it will add, as this election is going on, everyone goes in and they see the little bit of time that are given to candidates. They're asked by different newspapers and media, okay, we're going to ask you these 19 questions and we're going to print them, or we're going to do whatever with them and then we're going to digest it and put it out for you. Or we're going to give it all to you, but it's going to be, okay, over the course of the election, all the council races get one day, and then all the mayor, they get what's one day. And then if you kept your papers, now you can look through all that and figure out who you want to be. And then there are groups that say, wait, we're going to tell you who to vote for. And they may have gone through a tremendous process of vetting the candidates and making their decisions. And they're good to look at, but no one wants to vote blindly.
Correct.
Unless you're somehow nationally associated with. I like to pick on that only because, but we don't vote blindly. So I hope everyone digests and makes your own good decisions. That's what I hope. But you now have plenty of time to see ideas from P.Denise LaCosta, who has put together a plan. You know what that takes? First of all, it takes a lot of thinking power, but putting a message out when there are all these candidates out there and they're all going to knock up, she was on the planning commission, she didn't care about the local people, she didn't do anything. See, all the things that get into the mix in politics. But worth looking at the paper, and that's why I'm not just go into a paper now, because I want everyone to dig. When I look at your background, not only do you have a background filled with experience and success, but here you are now, and you just explained it. You've been here 36 years, and you know, just like I know, there are a lot of things that really need change, and it takes guts to run for mayor, because people like to take pot shots at you for no good reason. So thank you for your bravery. You know, when the election happens, and so you're going to be reviewing things with all the people in the different departments, and you're going to be looking at the budget to see, well, I think there, what was it, 174 million or something excess. And you were thinking to potentially give some of it back in gasoline rebate now, but God knows how high this will go. I think we could use that whole rebate on gasoline reimbursement. I don't know what's going to happen here, and I don't think any of us have a real clear picture.
We haven't.
But I'm really glad to hear that the homeless are on your radar.
They are.
And that you think that this is an emergency. If we can buy cots and put people up in different countries and give them all these services, why can't we at least do that when we have a disaster here? What's the problem? Why can't we take care of our own in a real basic way in an emergency and expand from there? It bothers me every time I hear that someone's pushing it off on someone else when they locally could declare an emergency, put up cots. I mean, good notion that the things that we're talking about can be done with the power of a mayor.
Correct. And where there is a will, there is a way, but there has been no will.
That's what I'm seeing.
That's incredibly evident. The reason I decided to run for mayor is because my town of Lahaina is still in shambles, and not one building permit has been issued. It's unconscionable after 3 years, and people from Paradise, California asked to leave when they came to help. When my friends are moving away because they have no place to live, or if they have a place to live, they don't have a job because the place that they used to work is in shambles. And it is, well, you can't swear, so it's annoying and frustrating and maddening and, any other adjective that agitated, whatever, that nothing has been done. It's like, let's not do anything and force these people to sell their property, and then we can do whatever we want with it. That is my personal opinion. But I just see nothing going forward and no attempt to do anything. Otherwise, there would be more houses that would be approved. There's still over 300 permits outstanding. Our businesses would be started to be rebuilt. I mean, if the Historical Society can start rebuilding the courthouse, why can't the rest of Front Street get rebuilt?
No, that's really a good question, because there was that concern that we wanted to rebuild Lahaina and have all the setbacks for the new, I want to call it ocean sea level rise, which, by the way, doesn't exist, right? Oh, it depends who you talk to. Yeah. People that live on the shoreline know the ocean sea level rise exists. But they're still not ready to walk away from their properties. They still want to sell them. Make sure we put that on the clause there on the contract, but that this property might not be here in 20 years. It's quite the same as it is.
Correct.
So, but if they can rebuild the courthouse and give a green light, what happened to the rest of Front? I heard that Fleetwood's is getting, I don't know about ready. I haven't been over there. Is Fleetwood's getting ready to open? I saw the promo that soon Fleetwood's will be back. Really?
So what Leo Laurie and Mr. Fleetwood did is they applied for a remodeling permit rather than rebuilding, because there are walls that already exist. So, and that's public record, so I'm not talking out of school.
Yeah.
So they're going for a remodeling permit so that the wheels will move faster, but the wheels still aren't moving.
And they really can't do their little remodel yet anyway, no matter what.
Not till they're approved.
You hear that? That was a good PR move. Very good. But Mick Fleetwood, come sing with us, and we'll rebuild Lahaina together. because there are lots and lots of things that could have happened and should have happened. Is there anyone in charge of that? I know we see meetings periodically, and I haven't. Frankly, I haven't gone. You probably have. What do you see there?
I do go to the meetings. John Smith, who is in charge of the recovery office, comes to the meetings and talks. And that's all.
Do they have timetables?
He mentioned that there were some kapuna housing that would be rebuilt, and I asked which ones are going to be rebuilt, and he said, "Oh, I can't tell you that right now." And then about 2 weeks later, they came out with the list, and so they're going to do Ha'ole Maha'olu. They're going to do some of those homes, the projects, but there's no timetable. They said maybe by 29 or 30. And in the meantime, what did the kapuna do?
I was going to say 29 or 30.
Yeah.
When you're a kapuna, 5 years is meaningful, especially when you're at large because there's not enough housing, or you're doubling up and tripling up with families, and all kinds of situations are highly unusual.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that are in charge look the other way on rules because they're trying to be compassionate, because there's no place to people to live.
That is correct.
It's beyond, people can't really understand that. And we still want visitors. Don't get me wrong. If you're on the mainland or anywhere around the world, please do come. We still want you.
Please come. We need you here. You help us live aloha. And we also need you to infuse money into our economy, because it has been suffering terribly since the fire. So please come visit. Lahaina is still off limits, so please be respectful of that. But certainly please come visit, because Maui is no ko'oi. It's beautiful.
Right. And we decided long ago, go back to the mainland? Are you nuts?
I don't think so. Yeah. No, thank you. I have several offers for jobs back there, and I said aloha.
Aloha, that's right. We are really stuck here. I mean, when I go to the mainland, I haven't been to the mainland, I'm laughing, since the beginning of 2007. So what's that? 19 years.
Wow.
And that's been fine. Some people talk about island fever. I've had no problem being here. It's been just beautiful. And the quality of life here depends on what you give and what you get.
Correct.
This is such a beautiful place, and I've been feeling very welcome. I think that's because I've been on TV, and people say, oh, this is that guy from TV. Yeah. I worked for the census in 2012.
So did I.
And they said to me, we're going to give you Happy Valley. Happy Valley is heavily Hawaiian. And everyone thought, oh, it's going to be difficult for you to walk around. It was incredibly beautiful. Yeah. The Hawaiian people and everyone that I met was incredibly courteous and wonderful. And so, like I say, that's a little bit of fake news, because we have a really loving host community of Hawaiian people. And I always like supporting them in every way that I can, and trying to integrate who and what they are and stand for, and have really given to our local culture, and use it and embrace it. So that's a good thing from our mayor. He's been pushing the Hawaiian culture, but he really has been, in my view, lacking on things that move forward in any sensible way. I'm really sort of sad. I thought that he was going to be really aggressively trying to help local people, not by taking away condominiums that are part of a rental pool.
And people's small businesses. And then all of the people, the integral services that are connected with them.
Yeah.
So
that to me is trying to break down one of the things that are going on and make that part of the solution. We obviously need more housing. And thinking you've done 2,200 over the last 2 years or 3 years, that was all in process. That's nothing new. That's nothing unique. And you're not trying any things with a central core of medical and food and bathroom services with all kinds of small houses and service. You're not trying anything.
No.
Why? That's a good question. And I guess it's probably really so early in this race. Have you started going out there and going to doors, and how are you? This got to be a major undertaking to go to 3 islands from unknown.
I have 3 pair of tennis shoes, and I'm going to wear them all out. That's my standard phrase. I have started knocking on doors, going door to door. I have met some lovely people. You were talking about Happy Valley. I was down there last Friday. And there are 3 fellows who play music from like 4 to 9 in this little garage right by the church, the little green church at the corner.
At the corner where you're going into the houses again.
Right. And I heard it as I was walking along, and I thought that sounds like Cyril and Gabby Pahanui. So I went over and I said, oh my gosh, you sound just like Cyril and Gabby. And they said, well, I'm their cousin. So it probably runs in the family, that voice, but it was amazing. And they invited us to sit and listen to the music, and it was fabulous. And they said, come back anytime. So anyway, I'm going to pop in and see them next week. And I have been doing a lot of door knocking, and a lot of people are excited about change. They said, we don't need another politician because they've done nothing for us. I mean, and I'd like $100 for every time somebody said that.
Ooh, I could also start collecting hundreds.
Would you?
I would. That's really the truth. A lot of people they know there needs to be change, but then they haven't felt empowered.
Right.
They haven't felt like there's someone that will do something.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are undecided for whom they want to vote. And I think a lot of that has to do with not knowing the candidates. I have tried to do a pretty good job on my Facebook and YouTube about comparing what should have been done and what hasn't been done with the other folks that are, on the ballot. And because I'm not a politician, I'm only a politician out of necessity. It is necessary to get my town rebuilt. It is necessary to get folks in homing. It is necessary for the West Side to have a hospital. It is necessary for us to be safe and to be sure that we have mitigated fire and floods, and it can be done if you have a will. And I have the will.
I see that. Yeah, you know how long, when you're talking about these things, some of you already say, we've been talking about a hospital for the last decade or 2 decades.
2 decades, yeah.
That's the thing. When we talk about change doesn't happen because of, that's what I'm talking about. It's at those levels that I want to see change. I know that there's one of the county workers are out there. They're working as hard as they can from morning till night. And the changes they need would be, we need to get the pay higher so we can hire more people. And we need to get more people because there's only so many. You see, it's just amazing. So, yeah, I'm really glad you're running, and I hope that people will not only see you here, I hope that you will share this show. And all of you, I want you to share these shows. When someone can see who these people are up close for more than just a few minutes, is this someone that you can sit down and talk to?
Absolutely. Anytime.
That's the question, right?
Anytime.
Right. And is she going to be listening with an open mind?
Absolutely.
So. See?
Yep.
That's the kind of thing that I like. Some people say in this day and age, people don't have more than 5 seconds or 30 seconds and they're on to the next. But those that do linger, I'm a long form guy. I like the long form because in the hour you get to really see someone let down their guard and be who they are a little bit. That's really what I'm hoping to bring, is bringing you up close and personal so our audience can feel comfortable when they see you, to talk to you. Feel comfortable to talk to someone that's helping you, or even themselves decide to get involved. To me, that's the bottom line of it all. Because you and I'm sitting doing this radio and TV thing for now decade upon decade upon decade. And if I was on a commercial station, I would have been paid. But I haven't been paid. But I've been doing this because I care. There's someone doing it because they care. Yep. It is a major commitment to run for mayor. Thank you.
It definitely is.
Especially with the name Realtor in your background. Yep. People are going to start taking shots just because you're a realtor. Or like someone said to me, well, when they we went before the realtors as candidates. They'd already decided when they were meeting and greeting who they were going to vote for.
That's not true.
Well, see, so you hear all kinds of things going on. Just look at who's running and make an intelligent decision from your own mind. You know what I mean?
So let me address the realtor aspect. I have been a licensed realtor since 1992. I've had my own brokerage company since 2004. Been a broker since 2000. I don't know who better to put families into homes than someone who has been doing it professionally for 33 years. So when someone says, we don't want a realtor there, it's like, why not? I know the ins and outs of homes. I know the ins and outs of financing. I know how to get people into homes and out of homes if that's what they need to do.
Right.
And real estate is what I do, not who I am by any means. And for other people who think I'm going to just go in and sell everything in Maui and get all kinds of rich, when I'm mayor, my license will be inactive. I will not have any participation in the state of real estate. So.
That's good to know, huh? We haven't had any calls in, which is good because I wouldn't know what to do with them. We have about 10 minutes left, and I can ask you more questions, but I want to make sure that I give you a moment to think of what are the things that you want to say. When you have the floor, what do you want to be able to tell people?
Thank you. So my platform is I will listen to you. I will act for you. When? Now. And when is an acronym. It stands for water. We definitely need to find water sources, and we have the second most water in the state in Pu'ukukui in the West Maui Mountains. It needs to be harnessed, even a portion of it, so that the other can go down and clean the streams and the reefs. And it needs to be put into storage, so harnessed, storage, and delivery. And that takes money to do infrastructure. But what's more important than having water? I mean, oli ikawai, water is life. So without water, we can't do anything, whether it's live or eat or even survive. After 3 days, you cannot survive without water.
So that's the W. What's the next?
H is housing and healing. So my housing plan is, we do have to build homes. Mr. Business said we can't build our way out of it, but we can if it's done right. And the second thing is on that is healing, because of the division that has been caused by this mayor because of who you are or what you look like. Like I said, the first time that I've ever felt not welcome here.
I'm so sorry.
And it hurts my heart because I know people of every ethnicity and every socioeconomic strata. And I'm sometimes hesitant because I'm thinking, am I going to get stink eye? Am I going to get hoo-hoo from them? But I just plow forward anyway and extend aloha, and almost everyone has extended it back, so that's a good thing. So the E is for the environment and economic engines. So tourism is what we have survived on. During COVID, we all realized it was not someplace we should put all of our pennies. And we were mandated actually by the governor at that time to look for new sources of economic growth so that we would not be caught in that. But nothing has been done. So tourism is now this big a pie. It should be this much of the pie. It will always be part of who Maui is because people love coming here, but it shouldn't be on everything that we put and stake our futures. So I have been speaking with different, sorry, all of a sudden
it's okay.
Got a blank. I've been speaking with different sectors. Thank you. So I've been looking at the film, television, media, clean manufacturing. All of those companies would love to come to Maui and expand to give great paying jobs, economic stability, and our families could be able to purchase homes because they will have a bigger income. If you don't want to purchase a home and you want to rent a home, that's perfectly cool, but you should have that option. So the environment, everything that's done has to take into consideration the aina and the vai and the kai. I mean, without what we have here, we don't have anything. So all of the projects and everything has to be looked at. When you're looking at building new projects in homes, we saw what happened in Kihei, and there was a water plan on Mr. Bison's desk in 2022, and he chose to ignore it. So, and I'm not talking stink, I'm talking reality.
I got you.
So, so we have places that should not be built upon. They're lowlands, they're wetlands, they have sheet flow that comes from the mountain, and if you don't have a catchment basin, or if you don't have reservoirs and storage and delivery systems, you're going to continue to have the same kind of issue.
You know, the Kihei thing, I always find myself wanting to talk about things that happened long ago. Again, with what was. There was a title swap done years ago, and that's why the water doesn't flow from up to down clearly, because there was a title swap and they built condominiums that were supposed to be open wetlands.
Correct.
But they swapped them.
Correct.
Long enough ago that money was made. See, so a lot of the problems now need to dig deep and need to be making decisions that affect some of these deep holders, because things are crazy. I know a lady that was affected by the fire that happened in 23 in Lahaina. It happened to her in Kula. She had a 40-acre farm, and they went through and knocked down her bamboo forest that she'd built and her house, and burned and all kinds of things. Then they sold. She had leased the land long term. They sold it from underneath of her in a sale. So much stuff goes on here that is just outrageous.
Not pono.
So if you bring it all to the surface, there's so much stink. That's really So I hope that someone like yourself, if not yourself,
Myself.
will be
Definitely myself.
Yeah. And it's easier to say mayor than P.Denise.
It isn't it? And it sounds better too.
It's easy.
And so the N is the last part of when. So the N is for new processes. And we talked about that a little earlier, about having new processes in the county, because that's where the bottleneck occurs. So let's kick things around and be able to be much more efficient. So Public Works can do their job better. So planning can do their job better. So Housing and Human Concerns can do their job better. And work together, because we are better together.
We are. Can I ask a question? Because
Sure.
Just as I'm sitting here, my thoughts go. You talk about environment, and we watch this council in its present configuration get rid of the Environment and Climate Change Committee that I had experience trying to work with, and found them incredibly important and integral to making changes, and they get rid of the whole thing. You know, so like, all right, now this next round, I like Tom Cook, he's a nice guy, but I'm going to be helping Kelly King, because we need people that are consciously realizing how important some of these things are that we're wiping away by priorities that are being chosen. How do you stay on council? Here's a great example. You get paid as a consultant to a construction industry while you make decisions on construction. Just like you said, when you become mayor, you'll park your real estate license.
Correct.
That's a very different thing. So we have to really look at all that's going on. And, you know, this is a time when we all need to take back our will as people. And so someone as brave as I was going to say, you're big for your britches.
No, I lost weight.
But I mean, it is really super important for me and for everyone, I believe, that someone in our community with experience steps up, isn't ashamed that you've had experience in housing and real estate.
No, it's helped me.
Isn't ashamed that you were doing this and that. And you know that you're doing it with a clear conscience and clear mind, and you're still up there.
And heart.
Giving.
Yep.
Giving. And you have, the few people I've seen on your team so far, really very knowledgeable people, very nice people.
Thank you.
Who have a real commitment to making change for everyone here locally. So that's been really great, and a very supportive thing from what I see about your campaign. So I wish you the very best, and I hope everyone is going to take advantage of all the work that you've done so far to give them information, and will jump in and help however they can and be part of a change here that's necessary.
Very necessary. And Jason, thank you so much for the time. And to everyone out there, please reach out if you have questions. You will get answers, and you will hear nothing but the truth, the whole truth. And I'm not an attorney or in court, but that's how I roll.
That's right. That's how she rolls. But she doesn't roll over. Get it?
Right on.
That's right. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to kind of wind it down. Thank you all for joining us. You know, we are a local show, and we talk to people locally, but I think what we talk about are values, and values are not only local. We broadcast them to the whole world. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you come visit on Maui, and if you come here, please come and enjoy and know that we really appreciate you supporting our getting back on our feet here and developing back Maui in a beautiful way. I really look forward to it. I'm really surprised it hasn't happened more aggressively, but it sure hasn't been aggressive. It's time.
It's time. So.
All right. Well, we are going to roll down, and we're going to roll credits here in a minute. P.Denise LaCosta, running for mayor of Maui County, 2026. Website address, mayorlacosta2026.com. That one's even easy to remember. That's good.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for being here.
Mahalo nui and aloha.
And everyone, please know that if you want to reach her, she is very open and available to speak with you, and happy to have your call. All right. We'll see you next week, and we'll see what's coming up then. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Mahalo, Jason. Same here. Aloha.
Aloha, everyone.